in modern world, come as a contributor. You're going to gain much more than being on the receiving end. Your self-esteem is not only in the way you look, but in what you do, in what you can control, in the legacy you leave behind. You cannot control anything if you are being given everything. The dating tempts the man to show that he's better than he actually is. So you borrow money, you borrow clothes, you borrow a car, you impress a woman to make her think you are better than actually who you are. Then when she starts demanding for a lot of money, you say she's bad, but it's you. You made yourself a product that you are not.
Welcome back to the Social Spotlight podcast, where we discuss everything finance, investment, and business growth. Although in today's episode, we switch it a little bit. We are discussing a topic that affects all couples. I'm talking about marriage and finances. I mean, let's explore how we can get that harmony in our marriage. Let's explore how we can have difficult financial conversations without breaking the bond. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about trust. Let's talk about financial freedom and breakthroughs in our marriages. Today, I am joined by an expert in this industry, and I am so thrilled. I can't wait to have this very exciting conversation with him. Dr. Hilary, you're very welcome to the show. I'll invite him to introduce himself, and then we get right into that, exciting bit of this conversation.
Thank you, Vivienne, especially for this work you're doing. Finance is an integral part of life, and especially a relationship. And in marriage, it can make or break at any one time, whether it increases, whether it reduces, whether it stays the same. I'm called Hilary by name Idisha Joseph. I these days describe myself as a R6-in-1 expert. Why? Because my first degree was in education, so I became a teacher for some time, I think around 6 or 7 years. Then my master's was in social sector planning and management, so I did some work in the social sector, like social services. So I'm a social worker. Then I jumped into journalism. And I became in journalism. That is the third one. Now, all these three I have since stopped. I retired from journalism, from social work, and from teaching. So I went into entrepreneurship. I'm now an entrepreneur. I am the founding director of Fauna Health Foods. We are the manufacturers of ant porridge and Instapol. If you have taken ant porridge, my wife and I are the owners and managers. We produce and distribute ant porridge, and that is now my most pastime. But within that, I still do counseling. I did a postgraduate diploma in counseling, major in love relationship, and that is, I think, why we are here. I've done a lot of counseling. I learned a lot at my diploma. But what I learned was more concretized during I started counseling in 2002 up to now. So it gives me around 23 years of counseling. And I've also learned a lot from my marriage. I've been married for 35 years, from 1990 up to now. So there is a lot you learn through experience. I've been counseling. I studied. And then lastly, the sixth one, I'm a publisher. I published this book, The Best of Dr. Love, in 2014.
And this one?
Yes, there is another one in there, which I called Spearing the Butterfly. But now this is the latest, which is called Experts 100 Strategies for Love. But tag point is date smarter, not harder. And this one was launched last year in November. So I am 6-in-1.
Wow. That's quite exciting. I appreciate your expertise. And I know our viewership is going to, benefit a lot from you. Yes, we shall Diving right into it, we as young people, and these days we are looking forward to marriage. Some of us in our age bracket now, we are being pushed into marriage. In your opinion, how important is financial compatibility in marriage?
Very important. This book actually handles the dating stage especially, and it looks for how do you get compatibility. But I want to tell viewers that every style works in marriage. What matters more is the motivation to make it work. We have couples who share everything: bank account, investments, information, accountability, everything. We have couples who have a joint account, but they also allow themselves to have their private monies and investment. We have couples who share nothing. They only share roles. Pay school fees, I pay bills. Pay investment, I pay debts, something like that. But we even have couples who don't share anything. They are strangers when it comes to money. But that is just one component of financing, the sharing, because marriage is a partnership.
True.
If you want marriage to succeed, first forget what culture, what religion, what society tells you. View it in terms of an economic, a business partnership. Where you, Vivienne, are going to get married to me, what are you bringing for you to get a stake in this partnership? What is Hillary bringing to get a stake? So we bring these resources. And resources in marriage, we will talk about finance and money. But in love, it's more. It is emotions, it is energy, it is life, it is time, it is also the opportunity cost. I should have gone with Janet, but I've gone with Vivienne. So that is a cost I pay for me to come with you. The same on your side. So now when you come into marriage, for you to succeed, there must be a partnership where what you have invested in it and what I've invested in has to be managed together. Now, the satisfaction of the management of these resources build trust, build love, build ownership. Like you feel you own the marriage, it's yours.
Right.
Build confidence for you to suggest that let us invest here. Many of girls these days want to find a ready-made husband with everything. So they forget that when you reach, those resources can never be yours.
True.
So you cannot suggest that I want pink on this wall. I want us to build in Mienga and not in Imboya. You have no say because you are not bringing anything. You are just a consumer. And you are a participant. You are not a manager, a director of the resources in the marriage. So as you build compatibility, also, you must also, in marriage, in that book I'm explaining, when you are entering this partnership, because you imagine that we are all products on sale. You are selling yourself to the best buyer, who is your husband.
Right.
The husband is selling himself, looking for the best buyer, who is a wife. So what product are you? For me to do compatibility tests with you, how groomed in finance management are you? Do you know finance? Do you know? Some people come out of university, all they know is they've been having pocket money and eating it. They've been getting money from men and eating it. They know nothing about investments. They know nothing about shares, about equity, about cash flow, you know nothing. Then you come and you want equal partnership with a groomed business person. So it begins with you. What quality are you in terms of finances, in terms of finance management? So why should your partner trust your value addition on this?
Okay.
If you are just a consumer, you want money to be there so that you spend it. We have two types of people in terms of expenses. We have people who get 1 million and their immediate problem is, how do I make it 500,000? How do I begin eroding it? As if they don't like money. They want it to go. Immediately they think I have to hang out. I need a better dress. I need a better hairdo. I need to send this to my parents. I need to. You seriously want this money to go, but there are people who get 1 million, and their sleeplessness at night is how do I make it 2? They are investment minded. The other ones are expenditure minded. I'm not saying either is bad. That is who you are. But then you need to gravitate with a person who can always put what you can spend. If I'm investment minded and you're expenditure minded, we will clash.
Sure.
You will be thinking, I need a hairdo of 500,000. And me, I would be thinking, this money can easily make us 100 if we put it here. And we will clash. You'll think I'm not understanding. I will think you're not understanding. So in dating, you need to gravitate with a person whose disposition is similar to you. But even if it's not, you need to have enough love to adjust to each other. You can come with an expenditure mentality and I have an investment mentality. We meet in love. But because there is love, there is motivation to make it work. You start discovering that your expenditure habits don't make me happy.
Right.
And you adjust to my style. Or I start discovering that to make my wife happy, she needs to go to the supermarket and read it literally. So I adjust to that. Always work. But for me, if it were my daughter and if it were you asking me for advice, I would first say, get groomed in finance management. In also perception of money and value addition. Then you attract a person, because we have light poles, you attract a person like you who will find value, who will think his resources, his achievements so far are safe with you in this partnership. Then you start a partnership, because a partnership that intertwines its resources, if we both invest money, time, energy, talent, skill, opportunity cost, time, we all invest in this marriage. We are all serious stakeholders of this marriage. Marriage will of course get its problems, but our motivation to make it work, because our stake is there, we have put money, is high. You get it? Yeah, will be easy to follow because the overriding motivation is high.
Right. We have had instances where I've seen friends who are couples clash over debt. How would you advise they manage such situations without separating the bond they have created over time?
That comes out of the arrangement of the marriage. Usually, if let's create 3 scenarios. The first scenario, couples are investing together, bringing resources together.
Right.
Then one of them picks a debt, because a partnership is vulnerable to either person's debt. You create a debt you have not told me. That will be a clash, because we shall use family resources to pay back, or we shall suffer consequences of you being arrested or ridiculed. 2, we can discuss, and I support you, take this debt, but we use wrong parameters and we don't get money to pay it back. Then there we are all culpable. Even when we are talking about this debt, we participated in it. What in my experience is that in my counseling, I found that men are more risk takers. Because of, I think it also boils down to many factors, but also including their testosterone. Testosterone hormone, which is a lot in men, is a conquest hormone. It's an aggressive hormone. It's a risk-taking hormone. So it makes men take risks with money. But when this money is pulled together, they will be impatient. They have a deal, but convince my wife, she will refuse. Let me go it alone. If it works, I will come and explain. And when it doesn't, then clashes come. In fact, that is what discourages women who want to ask to dot all the I's and and tease to make sure that where the money is going is safe. It's not going to disappear, or it's not fraud, or it's not too risky. Then they don't move together. That is why the other plan B of having family resources which require planning together, but each one having resources where their individual excitement of adding value to this money or spending it is expressed, so that this is not inconvenienced. So, but we have a situation where your husband is excitable with betting. Now let's talk about betting. They are always betting and losing. Betting actually is a real serious problem.
The people will not win anyway.
I have counseled many people whose marriages are breaking because the man is an addict. Addiction can be to betting, but it can also be to alcohol, to drugs. All these require money. There are people who are on stage. They are like on stage. I call it on stage because on stage you're acting as if the audience has paid. So you want to give the audience which has paid the value for their money.
Yeah.
But there are people who are always like they are on stage, the audience has paid. The way they dress, they want to dress so smartly, so expensively. The way where they eat from, they want to come to Serena so they are seen. They are always saying, seen. They want to buy expensive cars, but their income cannot handle.
Allow.
So they are compromising family resources. And the wife or the husband has talked, please, we can't afford this. When you are going to see parents, you are loading the car with 5 million worth of things. But your income, both of you, is 3. So you need 1 month and a half to visit your parents. You're making it difficult for the marriage to thrive. So debt actually causes marriages to stress up, and it erodes in the willingness of partnership. Because I bring my money, you squander. I bring my money, you squander. The deaf thing, humans are not trees. Humans are. A tree will see a car coming to crash into it, and it will stay because it's a tree. It can't move. Yes. But an animal will see a car coming and it will run off. So human beings are not static. If I bring my money and I'm seeing you're not adding value to it, you are instead eroding it, I will go to plan B. I will have my own resources. Then we'll compromise on the marriage. But if you're adding value to the money, you are, in other words, there is a spiral effect, what you call halo effect. You are valuable to my money. Why wouldn't I increase my love for you? My dedication, my commitment, because you are an asset. In this world, we have 3 things we look at as most important: legacy, finance, resources, and personal achievement. If you want your marriage to last, help your partner on those 3. If you squander money, you are squandering your marriage. Yes.
Wow. Interesting. What's your view on joint accounts and separate accounts in a marriage relationship?
My view is that any system works. But my view of marriage is marriage. We have many weddings these days, but very few marriages because people are not willing to get married. They are wedded, they are sleeping together, maybe in the same house, maybe having sex or having children. But that's where their marriage stops. But they have different investments, they have different plans, they have different accounts. They are not married. Marriage in every language means the addition of 1 and 1 to become 1. That therefore includes joint account. A joint account doesn't have to be equal deployment of funds, but equal management of this fund. The banks can help you. You can have either can sign or you can have both of us must sign. Either can sign is convenient. You can travel, you are out, there is a problem. But a joint account is good because then you monitor, you have evidence of your usefulness in this relationship. Two, you know the resources, how they come in. And for example, joint account can be used for things of the marriage, school fees, if you're paying rent, sickness, travel, leisure. You understand? So when you're planning leisure, you know what is there. You know what school fees is still far away, but we already have the money for fees. This is different. Let us invest it in ourselves, stuff like that. A joint account shows you the discipline of your partner where money is concerned. A joint account makes you one. But if you think it is an inconvenience, still have it. And also have another account where it is yours. You monitor it because people are different. I can view money as a tool of happiness. So I have to spend it if I am not happy. You can view money as a tool of advancement to a different social status. Me who is satisfied with the status I am in, whenever I get excess, I want to eat it. You is not satisfied. Whenever you get excess, you want to use it to get to another status.
Yes.
So we can clash over such a thing. So to avoid these clashes, let someone have their own money they can play with for personal satisfaction. But still have a joint account where we can monitor, where we can come and be one and be married. So I highly encourage it. If you can't manage it because you have different dispositions and perceptions of money and investments, have it, but have your own where you can express yourself. Some women do a hairstyle of 500,000. When they come out, they find it with an OG. They go back and remove it
to change
and put another of 600. In 2 days, they have spent 1.1. And the husband may not understand because his haircut is maximum 200,000. And it will stay for. So they will say this is unfair. Because a joint account will also make you, if you are a committed person, will also make you uncomfortable if you are the one overspending it on personal things. But it's good. It's one way of getting married.
Nice. In the African setting, especially we as young girls, when we are trained by our singers, we are always told the saying that your man should be a provider, your husband should take care of you, you are a princess, and all those sorts of things. What's your opinion on, the woman being just, the one who gets to be on the receiving end in the relationship?
Yes, that's a very good question. And it is also wrecking relationships as far as my counseling is concerned. In the past, because I can tell you men are wired in terms of their psyche, in terms of their biology, physical build, they are wired to end up as protectors and providers. Even in terms of evolution, history, men are supposed to be providers and protectors. Women are supposed to be producers of children, of food, of care, caregivers, leisure, and sex. But and now a man who provides 100%, it becomes his responsibility. He will expect 100% rights. Because rights and responsibilities, when you're looking at provision, look at rights and responsibilities. If I cater for your 100%, I will expect 100% rights over you.
Okay.
But we have situations where the woman will want everything to be provided. But when it comes to being available 100% to the husband's whims, they say, no, I am busy. I have my rights. I can't do this. So if you expect to be given 100%, you have to give 100%. Now, when we came down to today, modern day, where we are now all empowered the woman is empowered. That can still work in those rural areas of Bundibujo, Mountain Elgon, Bukwo. But now in modern people who can see us on TV, on blogs, those are empowered people. They are
Right.
educated. You must drop that mentality of being looked after. Because men, our sons, or even ourselves, are also looking for value addition in a relationship. The only problem there is that they are refusing to cede rights. The total rights I'm talking of is a man being a king. He comes home, you remove his shoes. If he's tired, you bathe him, you carry him to bed, you give him food. Whenever he wants sex, you give him. Whenever he's annoyed, he can slap you. Because he is giving everything.
Right.
It also puts you in an uncomfortable position. You become a slave, not a participant. You lose your equality. You cannot decide. It is his money. It is his resources. They go wherever he wants. You understand?
Yes, I do.
That's not even a comfortable position for an empowered woman. An empowered woman wants to play equality. You want to know, I was counseling a pastor whose husband, a wife of a pastor. The husband who is a pastor came and said, I have a present for you. Pack your bags. We have shifted. I built a new house. We are going on the weekend.
Okay.
Many women listening would be, I would love that. It was stored, it was better. But the wife was not happy. She talked to me. She said, but how can you build a house and I'm not consulted? Where is it? Will I like the place? What paint have you used? What's the size of my bedroom? Where does it face? What color? What? Because I am also a user, I need to be consulted. That's the new empowered woman. She needs to be consulted because the marriage is not yours. It is ours. It's a partnership. So the pastor thought she would say, my sweetheart, my darling. But the man was saying, no. How do we live together and I don't even know you are constructing a house?
Yeah.
So if I can't know that, what else don't I know? Maybe you have another family. Maybe you have another, those things.
Yeah.
So modernity means let us be a partnership. Even if my contribution is low, it should actually be low for you to have authority in the home. Head or headship of families is a gender prescription, but it needs also to have qualification. Why am I the head of this family? It's because if we are renting, I am the one paying rent. It's because I play a role that qualifies me to be the alpha male. So I am encouraging people listening to us to quickly abandon this idea of I must be pampered with all resources. For you, if it is pampering, consider it as a gift from your husband out of his will, not you demanding for it as if it's a birthright. It used to be, it's no longer. But if you take it as a birthright, also be able to play the original woman who was just a giver, a caregiver, a leisure giver, a food giver, a pampering giver, to the man without questioning. Such a woman who gets everything, cannot ask a man, where are you coming from? Was looking for money to give you. He can sleep there 2 nights. I'm still chasing money. What do you want? Don't I give you money?
Everything. Yeah.
Everything. So for you to have confidence to even ask, where are you coming late? You must have a stake. That's why I said, what are you bringing
To the table.
to the partnership? Have your stake. It gives you confidence to demand certain things, to demand either in terms of development. I mean, why are we not developing? I was counseling couples going to be married, and I was surprised they didn't know that as a married couple, society that they are in expects them to be better next year. You are not supposed, I'm not supposed to marry you. We are renting and we rent forever. Time will come, we are supposed to leave this place and go to another. We are not supposed to drive that car for all. We are supposed to go being better, contributing better in church and in society. We can't be static. And that's the role of leadership. The way we were in January cannot be the way in the January of the next year. And couples, when their stakes are there, they will have time when they sit and say, but my husband, but my wife, we are static. I don't see development. You understand? So give. And this is a trick I'm giving women. Men are wired by their testosterone to be providers. So if you want your husband to give you a lot, give him what you can afford, or even small. If you give me a nice necktie or a wristwatch, it will make me guilty. I will also want to be reciprocate.
Yes.
But you have spent 100,000 or 500,000, you are likely to get 1 million in reciprocation. But you provoked it. Don't just be a receiver. You must give. So to enjoy marriage, you must enjoy giving, because the pleasure, the utility is in you having an impact on your partner. When you do that, love is made in such a way to make us reciprocal. So when I see you doing this, I will feel the urge to do the same. Yeah. So therefore, let your senga say this because she's an old person, but ignore her. In modern world, come as a contributor. You're going to gain much more than being on the receiving end. Because we are not like static receivers. You must, your value in yourself, your self-esteem is not only in the way you look, but in what you do, in what you can control, in the legacy you leave behind. You cannot control anything if you are being given everything. Yes.
Interesting. I hope my singer doesn't get to watch this particular episode. It may get to be loaned from the family.
It's even for your own good as a lady, as a woman.
Yeah.
We say time will come and one of the spouses will go. Bereavement. If your husband dies and you've been on the receiving end, you may not even know where the money was coming from. So what is the succession plan? Who plays the ball when the main finance manager and earner has gone? Time will come when your wife will die and you've been a giver. So you need to, in the life of stepping together, also teach your partner how to make and manage resources and also give. Because our utility as human beings is impact. What impact are you having? First on yourself, second on your partner, third on your children, then the stakeholders of the marriage, then society and other things that we belong to, like our religion, our clan, our extended families. Yeah, so you need to be useful. And in modern world, the usefulness comes from financial ability.
Interesting. Speaking of financial ability, we have seen scenarios where the lady is probably both couples are employed. In a scenario whereby maybe the lady is earning higher than the husband, and then maybe the husband feels threatened, and now they're encouraging the woman to quit their job and come be a stay-home mother. I don't know if you experienced that in your journey. So would you advise couples
the system theory?
Yeah.
Says that a system regulates itself if it is a good system. When different components that have an equilibrium, when the equilibrium keeps changing,
yeah,
when it changes, the other components of the system must change to adjust the new equilibrium. But when at worst, if the systems don't balance, the one overriding must be made to come down. That's what explains people saying retire, resign. But let me give a scenario. It's not just in employment. I was counseling a couple. I don't know if my story will make people know that it's this one. He got this car at campus, refusing her to work because he had all the money. The girl stayed home, As a result, interacted a lot, became bored, and started participating in voluntary activities at the church. Eventually, he became a counselor on politics, counselor at LC3. From there, he became a counselor at LC5. From there, she stood and became an MP and started earning more
than
the husband. Now the drums, we say in Akure, the drums tilted. This man's ego was shattered. In fact, he didn't know when he was campaigning for her. But on the second term, she tried to decampaign her to be thrown out of Paragu. Why? Because you see, we are dynamic. I might meet you now and say, this is a young girl, I am dominating her, I am gay. But life is dynamic. Just one thing, you can be an MP and the president likes you, makes you a vice president or a minister. You see how you fly away from my range.
Yes.
So, first of all, I'm going to give it 3 phases. 1, when you're married, let all of you use your talents and skills to earn money for the family, to discover your potential. In this economy, in this Uganda, your potential is not what you studied. What you studied was the results of the marks you had. In my company, I have people who studied something else, but they are doing something else. They are good in sales, but they studied nutrition. But they are very good in sales. So your skill and talents might not be your profession. So let's allow each one to discover their potential. Secondly, the ideal is that the man should bring more in order to retain his position. By the way, I am also counseling couples where, because the woman is working, the man decided that he has to contribute to the bills. But the man wants everything as a man, is claiming all his rights. I am the man. I'm the one who decides. But you are asking me to contribute. So I'm playing a bit of your role, and you don't want to cede certain rights. So men should know that once you invite the woman into contributing, you must cede certain traditional rights that the woman had. So there is one I was telling, they were staying together as lovers, contributing rent equally. So when they got married, I told him, now you must pay all the rent.
All the bill.
Ask your wife now to maybe pay water, electricity, but pay for the sake of your leadership of the home. He went back and calculated and said that was a lot of money, let us stay the way it is. Then soon after he came back to me, he was saying, why are you coming late? Telling his wife, why are you coming late? In my house, you must be here. They must in whose house? I also pay rent.
Wow.
What are you talking about? So you see, you ceded your duty, you must cede your responsibility. When a woman contributes, then you are partners. You are no longer the father figure or the king figure or the boss figure. You cede a bit your rights, you must cede a bit your responsibility. You cede a lot of responsibilities, you must cede a lot of rights. And that's how it plays out. I also had a daughter who was staying in Toronto. We were in our house, we were paying $1,200 in rent. So I said that you bring 400, my wife 400, and our daughter 400 because she was working. But she would bring her friends and dominate the house, open the fridge, eat everything. So we sat down and said, no, that's not acceptable. She said, what? You have to inform us, get our permission before you bring your friends. I said, but I'm also paying rent. You see, we had shifted our position from daughter to owner. You cannot pay and still play daughter. And she was right. So the same thing in a marriage. When a woman brings her money, she is not the slave of the relationship, she is a co-owner. So therefore, try and achieve that. Now, if you want your rights as the leader, you should earn more, you should bring more. But what if the woman now gets such a scenario of earning more? If I'm a teacher, my wife becomes an NP. What do I do? If I'm a businessman, or if she goes into business and the business rise and she starts earning more. So what you do, and this is the advice I do, if you see tables turning and your wife is starting to earn more for the sake of harmony, and I know we tell men, no, be comfortable, enjoy her money. It is not possible because the testosterone will not allow a man to be fed. Some men are brought up badly, they will not mind, but others will mind. They will start misinterpreting you. You come late or you pick a phone of a business and you move away, start, hey, you are cheating. You are. So they will even try to cheat, try to beat you, try to show that they have power. So to avoid such a scenario, if your wife becomes an MP or certainly gets more money and you are employed, resign your job. But you must have a marriage first that has trust. So I will come to Vivienne and I say, you see, Vivienne, I am earning 700,000 a month, 30 days, I earn 700,000. But for you, you earn it in hours. You earn 1 million a day. You earn 30 million, I earn 700. It's not going to work. So I'm going to resign. But since you're busy and you cannot use this money, let me invest this money because it's our money. So if you earned 30 million a month, you gave me 20. I buy things here, I go to South Sudan, I come back, I have made it 30 million in 1 week. You see how I gain your trust? I am adding value to your money. But when I bring 30, it's no longer your money, it is our money. Because nange kwendi, I have added. So you're busy, but you find me an asset because I am adding value to the money you're bringing. So you go back, you give me 30. I go, I bring 40. I bring 50. So you're seeing me adding value to the money you already have, other than bringing 700 and complaining that you are being unruly. You come out of university, you are both bachelor's holder. Then your wife or husband goes for masters. You are still bachelor. Then he becomes a doctorate. You're still bachelor. Then he becomes a professor. You're still bachelor. You see how you are evolving out of each other's life?
Yes.
What if you don't even have a degree? You started as teachers. He went for Bachelor of Education. You remained a grade 5 teacher. His master's, grade 5 teacher. His doctorate, grade 5. Even his friends, he cannot introduce you to his friends. There's access. You have studied in which university? You start claiming lies because you have graduated. And it's not just money. Even when you marry, you'll see people, and this is another problem, but it's not finance. I love football. I support Arsenal or Manchester City. But for you, don't like football. So you are not interested in what I'm interested in.
Sure.
So when we come home, I have no kavozi to tell you about football because so I look for people who like my KB. I am an MP. You are not interested in politics. I come from Parliament. I have a lot of cabos on what happened at Parliament, but you're not interested. So you see how we are gravitating away from each other. So I look for people who know what happens in politics and talk to them. Now, in talking to them, you are donating me. I will pick friends, I will pick interests in my new friends. You are editing yourself out of my life. So the thing is, I should get interested in what interests you, and you get interested in what interests me. And for our own show now in business, if I am a business person and you don't like business, how will you add value to the business? At least come help me balance the books, or even tidy up, clean up, or manage workers, or even if you are employed. On your day offs, let us balance books. You learn from me when I tell you where I buy these things, even for succession planning, that when I die, you are able to keep the business running. Get interested in each other's money earning interests for succession planning, to keep friends, to keep relevant. So if you tell me there is no money, like for example, you are in business, I am in politics. You have been bringing 10 million a week. Now you're bringing 0. You tell me there is no longer money. How will I believe you if I do not know your business? If I am interested in your business, I will know its highs and lows, its risks, and also bring my skills. And you see, 2 heads are better than 1. You see, when you marry, you are supposed to be in a better position than when you're single. You are now a composite. You see, in ant porridge, I will bring ant porridge here. We sell a flour that is a mixture of 12 flowers. 12 flowers make one composite. It's called a food composite technology. We mix 12 different flours to make one flour. That flour is a formidable flour in terms of improving your immunity, your energy, your appetite, brain boosting, and stuff like that. Why? Because if 2 are better than 1, how about 12? Hey, look at an army. If you have an infantry and you're attacking another country, will you manage if the other country has infantry, has an armored division, has air force, has navy, has intelligence, has a big industrial element that manufactures goods to support them? It's a composite. Even in medicine, we are no longer using singles. In malaria, you have a composite technology. In handling HIV, cancer, all diseases, you use a combination of things. So marriage is a composite because it combines your skills, your talents, your achievements, your experience, your knowledge, and mine. So we become formidable. But I see people saying, men are dogs, women are pigs, we are married, but let me keep in my lane, he keeps in his lane. You are not taking advantage of a marriage. Marriage is like a toy. You know, today's toys. You buy a toy, but there are no sales.
Yeah.
The toy can't work. It's useless, but you have it. To make it work, you must buy cells, put them, and the toy, you enjoy the toy. So marriage is given to you as a toy, but who puts in cells? It is you. You put in cells, and it works for you. Marriage will not work. You have to work for it by playing partnership. Then the marriage will pay dividends. You can't buy a car and park it in the compound and say, we have a car, but we can't drive it because we might knock or have an accident. So you have a marriage, it's a car parked in a compound, but you fear to play married. So you have putting your resources differently. You are investing the Arasajamba money, they will steal my money. Women are wasteful, they will steal my money. The car is there, you're fearing to drive it, you're walking, because if you drive it will knock or it will overturn. That's how couples are missing opportunities of using marriage to add value to their money, to their business. That's a car parked in a compound. Use it. It can only pay you back if you use it.
Sure.
But it's true, it can knock, it can cause a problem. But solve that problem. The problem is not the car. The problem is that accident. You are my wife. We have a joint account. But your mother has a serious problem. They are going to arrest her. You can't tell me that because I have a raw opinion. So you pick the money, hoping to return it. I discover before you return it. I lose my trust. I get annoyed. But that's just one incident. I have to put it in a context of the 5 years we've been together. I will know certainly there is a problem. And when we solve that, then we can continue. Because we are not holy people. You are a human being, I am a human being. We have our weaknesses. These weaknesses must play, but we prevail over them because we have a common good. And before I forget this, if you want your marriage to last, create for yourself a common goal. If it's a business, I'm sure I can use my business with my wife. Now the business is bigger than us. We might quarrel, but it should not impact on the business. I'll use a question and a simile of football. The 11 players you see playing, are not necessarily friends. They may be clashing. He borrowed my money, he's not returning it. He told people that I'm not a good footballer. He took my girlfriend. They have differences. But when it comes to football, the differences must go aside and they first win this game. There is a prevailing need over the small differences. So in a marriage, you must create for yourselves a prevailing need. Let us ignore these differences and first conquer. If it is business, we have started this business, let us first bring it to this level. So that our small squabbles, they are there, they will be there. Marriage is a protracted opportunities to clash and conflict.
Right.
But for you to survive this, you must create a bigger thing that is bigger than both of you. It could be children, it could be the stakeholders, but make it money. Let it be an investment. Let it be a plot you bought or you are building together. Now, if you clash, but the house is at ring beam, you are on a second floor, it is bigger than you.
Sure.
You cannot abandon it because abandoning it means disintegrating, which is more problematic. But without that house, without a joint account, without financial investment, it is much easier to break a marriage because there is no stake you're losing. So you make a retreat difficult by using finances, by using money. You integrate, and that money, by the way, if a problem is difficult to solve and you face it, you end up solving it. But if you have a way of running away from it, you will run away from it. So if you think running away from a marriage is now the good solution, but you remember, but my money, I will lose my money. That money can make you stay. And staying can make you work on the problem. And then the money makes the marriage work. We must grab everything possible that will make the marriage work because there is value in partnerships. Two people are better than one.
Definitely. Nice, interesting. Maybe could you tell our viewers where we can purchase these books?
Yes, these books, I really recommend this book, especially this book. This book will help you date smarter, run your marriage smarter. I wrote it for lovers. I wrote it for parents who are handling their children who are now lovers to know and understand how to help them. I wrote it for counselors to know how to handle problems that are hinged on the foundation of love. I also wrote it for community leaders who once in a while have to address community issues, and some of them are love. So this book, you can get it from Uganda Bookshop, from Mukono Bookshop, from Aristoc, all simple. You can call me and I deliver because we are in the modern after COVID. Even in Ant Porridge, we deliver. I have a whole line of borders I can deliver. If you are in Kampala, by the way, I can even deliver at my own cost. So my number is 0772 489856. 0772 489856. I will deliver and I will guarantee that with this book, you will discover how simple things were being made difficult for nothing.
Yeah.
Including money. You are fighting your wife so that she doesn't earn more. You're committing suicide. There are other ways of actually being part of this revenue. You see, once you have moved the distance with someone, going back is a cost. Starting again is a cost and there is no guarantee because all of us are humans. You are not going to find an angel. You actually might find worse and you start regretting the one you stepped out with. Yes.
Thank you. I'll also take one. As we close, what are some of the common mistakes couples make early in their marriage, and what's that one thing you'd want our viewers not to miss out on to know?
Yes, there are many, but let me restrict on money, the business, because that's the genre of this. First of all, the dating tempts the man to show that he's better than he actually is. So you borrow money, you borrow clothes, you borrow a car, you impress a woman to make her think you are better than actually who you are. Then when she starts demanding for a lot of money, you say she's bad, but it's you. Yeah, you made yourself a product that you are not. True, do not come as an inferior position. No. Try to be better, but don't stray further away from what you are. If in dating I used to bring you to Serena, now after, how can I take you to a Kafunda? When you raise standards, those are the standards. 2, in impressing each other, keep an eye on money. And in 2 ways, because I wrote a lot about it on this book. Know your person's perception on money, on resources, on investment. And nothing is necessarily bad, but just know whether it can be adjustable or you can work with it. You need to know how can what is my person's likely reaction to an avalanche, to a landslide of money. Because that one is, there are people, you can never know a person's character until they get money.
So I've heard.
A person who has been so nice, when they get money, they become rude, they call you useless, they become erratic. So in your dating, expose your partner to such avalanches. In fact, I am proposing that in a dating, you need to create most of the scenarios that happen in marriage. Let your partner get drunk and you see how they behave when they are drunk. Give them a windfall of money, see how they behave when they are money. See how they behave when they are broke. See how, not to throw them out, but to have an idea of who are they when they are not trying to be what impresses you. Then, if you think a woman is too money-minded, okay, if she is not, and you find problems with it, she is not your type. But it's not bad to be money-minded. There are people who will like a money-minded person. Try to gravitate with a person who impresses you. They say that if something is expensive, there is nothing expensive. You are just not the market. You can't come here and say, how can they sell beer at 10,000? No, you are not the market. Go to where they sell it 3,000, because the people who come here are the market. So if your partner is too expensive for you, you are not the market. Look for your level. When you start going together, mistakes will be made, but forgive mistakes and find a way forward. Adjust to each other. But money, find a way of bringing money together, either in joint investment, joint planning, even if it is your money. Pick a leaf, pick an idea. What do you think? I'm going to buy this land, this side. I'm going to buy shares in this place. I'm going to invest in this investment club. What do you think? Let someone, first of all, know and give you advice. But also, let them know where your money is. Because you will die. You are not immortal. You will die and that money will not benefit your children. Whether you're male or female, that money is important because we die. How do we live? Well, how do humans live forever? We live forever through our children. The Pope has died. We are going to forget him very fast. But if he had children, he will live on in the minds of those children. When they die, their children will remember the grandfather. At time you also expire, but you live on in the minds of your children. But if your resources cannot help those children because you are hiding it from your spouse, you are setting up your spouse to clashes. Hey, people have resources, spouses don't know. Please let them know. Don't be selfish and think that this person will take. And most likely people hide because they have sinister motives. I have a girlfriend. How will I give girlfriends how will I sustain the relationships? My wife will wonder where the money is going. So I hide this money. And yes, people do that, and some people find it fine, but it has consequences because you are dividing resources. Then you start thinking that people are thieves, but it is you who did not use your money properly.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Interesting. Thank you so much for making time today. I have learned a lot. I also believe our viewers are going to learn so much from your wealth of knowledge. And I can't wait for people to patronize you.
Yes, please. There is
Let me swatch it says for this book.
There's also this one, the best of Dr. Lau. It's also available. And also, I want to leave parting shots by saying that marriage is not easy. So it's not for the immature. That's why it's for the mature people.
Yes.
And it's not a deja vu that you have killed an animal, so it matters. Even when you kill an animal, you have to remove the skin, you have to cut, you have to cook. So marriage requires a lot of work. Do not lose a marriage because you refuse to trust. Human beings are difficult to trust. Even God doesn't trust them. But in a marriage, marriage is difficult because you have to trust a human being. You have to live with a human being who has disappointed you before. But you have to make it work. What matters is not the daily actions. What matters is your overview. Even a company, I can tell you in Antpraise, if you were with people, would have run away from it. But you decide it will work at all costs. It works. People have put their mind and soul on it. It works. Sometimes we lose money. Sometimes we make money. But that is inconsequential, and Antpraise must work. Marriage must work. The business must work. The strategy, bring the resources together, play partnership. Two are better than one. I think I've summarized it.
Thank you so much, our viewers, for staying with us through this episode. And if you have loved everything that our guest said today, do subscribe to our content for more. And I've been your host, V. See you.